Hey guys, back at it. This is day 97 in my 100 Days of Daily Diary Challenge. I was prompted to do this out of a meditation devotional session. Wow, I can't believe we are so far in. Day 97 is pretty crazy. We're super, super close to hitting that 100 mark. I was super resistant to do this at first, and it took a couple, I would say like at least 3 prompts for me to actually do it. And the things that kind of lined up afterwards were just like more signs and reasons that it should happen. So over the course of these 97 days, I have grown a lot. I have seen a lot of change, a lot of expansion, a lot of shifts in kind of my world, and it's been amazing. It's been super, super amazing. So I will just get started, get into the day 97. So this weekend, my love is away and my kids are with their dad. And I have had this whole weekend to myself. So I just took a relaxing morning, not waking up with an alarm or needing to have any, set time to jump out of bed. Even though I was listening to the 5 a.m. club, which is I'm going to start implementing a lot of things that they have in there because it makes a lot of sense. But I was like, well, I'm just going to take this time to relax, do my vibration plate, do my sauna, do some meditation, just kind of like get focused in the morning, center myself, do a lot of self-care. And the evening before, I had looked up some pole dance classes and decided that I was going to take one. So I looked at a few different studios, and there was one that was a little farther out, but it just kept catching my eye. So I was like, okay, let me get myself ready to go to that class. And, I got a huge cup of cold coffee, got my workout clothes on, and I had been able to talk to my love before I left, so that was nice to check in with him a little bit in his event. He is running around crazy, doing all the things, super, super busy, and 1 hour behind me, so the time didn't really work for us to connect in the evening, so that was nice. But I did go to the class. I had a lot of fun. It kicked my butt. My thighs and my arms are like killing me because the guy was so funny who was teaching it. He was like, you have the number one rule of the class is you have to be on your toes. He's like, you earn the big bucks on your toes with your heels up, and if you plant your feet and you're flat-footed, you're gonna get the change. And he's like, it hurts to get the change. So that was kind of funny. So I was on my tippy toes kind of like the whole time, doing different things. It was a small group of women, and it was a really fun environment and energy. And I don't know, I just had a really fun time. So it was a 1 hour class. I might do it again, but I'm also thinking about trying out some like sensual, sexy floor play class, which would be kind of like along the same lines of dance, but tapping into that more like sensual side on my own. Obviously, you're in a group of more people, but it's not like you're dancing with somebody. You're doing this like a solo piece. So that was kind of cool. I came home and I was doing more things in the house, kind of writing a diagram of how I'm going to set up my coffee service, what things I'm actually going to need, what things places should be providing me, what things I need to bring, kind of logistics of it. And I was also looking at different pieces of equipment that I might need to invest in outside of what I've already invested in, which has also been amazing because my love has helped me a tremendous amount by supporting me and funding basically my business. So while I was doing all of that, I was listening to a new book, a book about being imperfect and all about just embracing the imperfections. And so that was kind of cool. It is along the same lines as the other things I was listening to, but it's also not as mystical and spiritual. So it kind of like took me to a different place. And I just decided to take a pause. I was done with my diagrams. I checked in with my kids and heard how they were doing. And then I just decided to tackle some of these Reiki books that my friend had given me. She gave me 3 books for me to read and give back. So I want to kind of be quick about it. I don't really like holding on to things that I'm borrowing for a long time. So I put some meditation music on and I just got into this book, and the first one. Finished that up. It was a really comprehensive book about the different levels and what Reiki actually is and the history, which I knew a lot of this stuff by going through my first degree certification class, but it also expanded on some other things. It touched on some of the spiritual aspects of it and also the psychic abilities that can be unlocked. So that was the first book. And then the second book was the same kind of thing. It's a book about Reiki and the different levels and the history, but it's it's talking more about the spiritual and psychic side of things. And so I think it was I picked the right sequence of these books. So I was reading the books, doing all that. I had planned to go out to a Latin dance social with a couple of friends of mine who are dancers. And, they don't typically happen until later in the evening, so 10. But I will circle back to something really crazy. And reading the Reiki books kind of brought this to my awareness that while I was driving from the pole class to my house, I was seeing a ridiculous amount of synchronicities. So triple numbers on license plates, triple numbers on mailboxes, triple numbers on billboards, triple numbers everywhere. Also, when I caught the time was 11:11 kind of thing, or 111s. And it was just such a heavy presence of synchronicity. And then I was just in such a happy, light, lifted mood, just smiling. And this is kind of a funny thing that I do, and I laugh at myself for doing it while I'm driving and I'm happy and I'm in this mode of just being on top of the world. I will literally wink and smile at myself, not in the mirror so I could see it, but I'm doing it for myself, not to anybody else. And then I just bust out laughing because I don't know why it happens, but it just I feel like doing it, I do it, and then I laugh at myself. So just a weird fun fact about me. So as I'm driving and I'm having this really great mood and I'm seeing all these synchronicities, a very loud, not yelly loud, but a very clearly loud, loud in the sense of being clear, voice says in a very matter-of-fact way, invite your ex-husband to Thanksgiving. And I was just driving, happy synchronicities. Then I hear that and I think, okay, that's such a weird thing. I don't really understand it, but typically when these matter-of-fact phrases pop up, they are really my intuition kind of prompting me to do something. So I was okay. Well, I didn't really text him right away because I was driving, so I waited until I got home. I sent him a text message. I was hey, I got a quick question. What are you doing for Thanksgiving with the kids? Asking him kind of his plans, and he, gave me his answer that he's not sure, and he might go here, he might do this. And I said, well, just so you know, you're invited to Thanksgiving with me and my grandma and the family, and that's it. And so he was okay. I'm going to call you. So he calls me and we have like this really, it was not a long conversation, but he ended up telling me all of the things he was thinking of doing for Thanksgiving, but it might not work because of the busyness of the season. And he was like, that would be kind of really weird and awkward to go to your family's house for Thanksgiving. And I was like, yes, it will be. But we're adults and we're able to move through this situation. And I would rather you and the kids have somewhere, warm and fun to go to for Thanksgiving. And I said, we can all get over this weirdness, but I just wanted to extend the offer to you just in case you needed that. And he said, thank you. We got off the phone and it was like, he didn't accept the invitation, but I don't know what this is going to bring about. But I just followed my intuition, as weird as it was, and invited him to Thanksgiving. So that was kind of like, I'm just like that. You're thinking about, okay, I don't understand, but we just did it. So that was earlier on. And then, so going back to later in the evening, reading the Reiki books, meditating, having a lot of just relaxing time. Time kind of passed very quickly. And I got myself ready for dance and hanging out with my friends. I went out there. I had new shoes that I was wearing, and then I had an old pair of dance shoes that I glued the heel. And I brought socks because I was like, I don't know what kind of floor it is and if it's slippery or not, so I'll bring these socks. And the new heels that I was wearing were way too high, especially after doing all of that pole work and on my tippy toes. And so I changed into my dance shoes, and as I'm dancing, the heel pops off. I was like, great. I threw the shoes in the trash because I fixed them a number of times and they're just, can't fix them. So I ended up putting the socks on and just dancing with the socks. So I only lasted like an hour before I called it. And I was like, my toes hurt, my feet hurt, my thighs hurt. It's all a good hurt. Like, I've been working out and doing a lot of movement and activity. So it's not like a complaining, but it's just like, I know my body's limits. So I'm just going to, go home and chill and get to bed and all of that. So I did see a lot of people I knew. I hung out with some of my friends who invited me to come out, and I was able to call my love on the way home and have a really amazing conversation with him. And he actually opened up and shared something that was bothering him that he wanted to apologize for. And I think I've said in a previous day that this has happened pretty much all my life, where I have a problem. I've either been wronged by somebody or something has bothered me. I process it. I think about it. I work through if this conversation is happening, this is what I'm going to say. I release it because I know now is not the time. And as soon as I work through it, process it, release it, within a few days, it's resolved, but not by me, by the other person. So this is one of those situations where he came to me and he was like, I had this thing happen and it really brought up, this other situation we had, and I just wanted to apologize. And it's amazing that the universe has always been there in this specific arena. And now I can see it. I can look back and say, hey, it's always I've always had my back taken care of. And, I've had this power, but now I'm moving more into this power. And so other parts of my life are starting to expand and grow and be stronger and more magical. And now I'm realizing that part is also magical and it's always been there. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, so we had a great conversation and we talked and we were very connected without distractions. So that was good. So, a long day full of really cool things, but also a day full of relaxation and time for myself. And I definitely, no time in this weekend have felt lonely, have felt like bummed out, have felt depressed, have felt anything other than like calm and peaceful and happy. Also, it's really cool that I would have to say where before in my other relationships and anything, when I had wanted to like go out hanging with friends or go out dancing on my own or do different things like I'm going to take pole class or I'm going to do this. If I were to voice it to my partner, they would totally just like rip me a new one and just like come down and say like I couldn't do it and why was I doing it and like I don't love them and like all the things about or just wanting to do something for myself. Now I'm in a relationship that's really healthy, really strong. We're really connected and we can do things like that. Like if he wants to go to dinner with friends, I'm not asking him who he's going with. If he wants to fly with his boys for the weekend, I'm not gonna worry about him. Like he can really do whatever he wants and I will feel safe and secure in our relationship and that I really don't have to worry about anything. I mean, he's an adult, I'm an adult. We have, good heads on our shoulders where we know what safety is and what, not being safe is. And it's just a lot of communication and love and peace and happiness. And it's just so healthy and amazing. And I really didn't understand it where before when people would say like, it's easy, love and the right partner, it just feels easy. And this feels so easy. And in the beginning, it was like, it feels so easy. What's wrong? Like, when you're not used to it, you don't know. But there's so much peace about it. It's like no drama, no craziness. Obviously, we're still healing and growing and working together to figure out how to do it. So there are going to be things that come up and we're going to have to like, not necessarily get into a fight club brawl or an argument or anything intense like, would happen before. But we're going to get into things where we might not necessarily see eye to eye and we might disagree. But it's how we handle it, how healthy we are in setting boundaries for ourselves within the relationship, so that we can keep our peace, keep our self-care, our personal health. Because if we don't have self-care and we don't have boundaries for ourselves and if we don't continue to put into ourselves what we need, then we're not going to be able to show up for anybody. So that's a big thing I've had to learn is how to navigate this new healthy relationship and then now how to create personal boundaries so that I can still have my, not necessarily space because I would love to be around him 24/7 and that would be amazing. But I'm just talking about personal boundaries and self-care because I'm going to still need to do that every day, all the time. So that's just a lot of what's been going on and it's been really exciting to see and it's been really exciting to be in it and I'm just excited about everything. I don't think that there's anything that's really causing me frustration or anxiety or like challenges and things that are a little scary are exciting to me now. Yes, I feel that I don't know necessarily if you would say negative, but I feel that a little bit of anxiety and a little bit of fear and a little bit of that, what you would feel before, but I don't lean into it. I use it to fuel my excitement, if that makes sense. But anyway, I am going way, way over time, and it seems like the last couple of days I've just been like talking about everything. So I love you guys for hanging out with me. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you would leave me a comment, I'd love to hear your feedback, your opinions. If anything resonates with you, or you found value in some piece of information I dropped, like, comment, share, subscribe. So excited to be getting closer to day 100, which I'm fairly certain I am going to do a different format of recording, so you can actually see my beautiful face. And probably not going to be live because of the delay in the record post that I have. It's about 14 days-ish behind. But then I'm really thinking that I'm going to keep this up, and I'm just going to keep doing it for as long as I feel like I want to do it. Definitely a year. I think that would be really cool. So thank you so much. I love you guys. Have an amazing day, and get some sunshine if you can. Peace.